right, so do you have what you wrote down yesterday? Do you have your wheel of life?
Mm-hmm.
You weren't here yesterday, so we'll review this real quick. So the wheel of life, did you get to see any of it from yesterday? So do you mean-
Briefly, Teresa
Teresa
was
kinda
erasing it
erased
during
it this
inquiry.
Okay, so did she erase it and not use the board?
She did use the board.
All right, good. At least she used the board. If she erased it and didn't use the board, then I'd have a problem.
We would.
All right. So draw a circle on your paper there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll go through this with you. So on the outside, it's 7 sections.
Right.
Okay, it's a little bit harder than just doing 8. Kind of go down, make a peace sign, and then section those 2 off. Right.
Okay.
All right. And I want you to write on the outside. You're gonna write body.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna write. What was the second one?
Emotions.
Emotions and meaning. Emotions,
Uh-huh.
meaning. Third one,
Relationships.
relationships. Fourth,
Time.
time. Fifth,
Work and career.
work, career. You can also think of that as your mission. Come on in.
Finances.
Finances. You can put a money sign.
And celebrate.
And celebrate. Celebrate and contribution. So I'll walk you through this real quick. I also want you to, so you're basically going to draw nine lines in each segment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll walk you through that in a moment. So this, as we talked about yesterday, this looks like a pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as you're looking at the pie, I want you to think that the first line on the inside is a 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way out to the outside of this pie is a number 10. So starting with your body on a scale of 1 to 10, and this is your decision, this is your life. So I want you to rate yourself where you are right now. With 1 being, I'm distraught. I'm not happy with where I am. 10 being, I'm exactly where I want to be. This is my life's goal. My aspirations are met physically. So my physical body, where am I on a scale of 1 to 10? You cannot pick a 7. Okay? And color in to the middle. Right? So I'll pick a 4 on this one. Emotions, meaning, that's the part of how do I show up? What do I think about when something challenging happens to me? What meaning do I create for things in my life? Do I get high anxiety easily? Do I get depressed easily? Do I get flustered easily? Do I get angry easily? Right? What meaning do I create for the things in my life? So I'm going to give myself a 9 on this one because I am pretty solid.
Okay, 3 being the worst, 1 being the worst, 10 going out being the best.
10 being the best.
Okay.
You cannot pick a 7. Relationships, how you show up. How do you show up in your relationships? How would you grade yourself? And that's all relationships, right? There's all sorts of different levels. Time, how do you use your time? How is it best spent for you? Do you show up fully intentional, with a purpose, on purpose? And then work, career. Where do you fall on a scale of 1 to 10 with where you are in your work, your life, your mission? Financially, on a scale of 1 to 10, again, remember you cannot pick 7. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you fall financially as far as where you'd like to be versus where you are? And then the last one I know can be confusing, so I'll take a moment and explain here. Celebration and contribution. So there are 6 needs, and I learned this from Tony Robbins years ago. There's 6 needs that we have. The first need being certainty, right? We need a certain level of security in our lives. We need to know that the roof's not going to cave in, or otherwise you can't listen to me right now. The opposite is also true. We also need uncertainty, right? We need variety, otherwise we get bored. You also need to feel unique, special. A relationship where somebody doesn't feel special is a relationship that will fall apart, right? If you don't make your partner feel special, your children feel special, right? Well, you also need to feel connected, so you need to feel the same or part of something bigger than yourself, right? So those 4 needs are the base needs. You're going to find a way to solve those, whether or not it's empowering or derogatory, right? Smoke a cigarette, you got certainty that you can relax, right? You take a drug, you got some variety, right? You're gonna find a way to meet those, whether you do it a good way that builds you up or a way that tears you down. But it's the last two needs that fall under the celebration and contribution. And those two needs that are most important to call them needs of the spirit in Tony Robbins' seminar. It's growth. If you don't feel like you're growing, you feel like you're dying inside. So you always have to be growing. And then contribution. So I have to feel like I'm giving back to something bigger than myself. And for each individual, that's different. So this is my life, right? So this is my wheel. And that's what this is, a wheel. So where am I on each of these categories? Gives me a wheel here. So if I draw this, if my life were a vehicle and everything was a 10, I'd be running on this perfect wheel. But given this, how clumsy is your ride right now for your wheel? Right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rate yourself on that?
So
one,
I
too?
have a question about the celebration.
Go for it.
So how do you, what do you mean, as in, hey, I got a promotion at work, I'm going to buy myself this, or I'm going on vacation.
So
what
you
are you
think-
talking about? How do you rate celebration? Like, what, I don't
So
understand.
celebration is, do you celebrate life? As you're making your contribution, as you're giving, how do you show up? Are you joyful? Are you celebrating life, contributing to the world around you? Right? And that's my meaning for it. You may have a different meaning, and guess what? That's okay, because it's your wheel, not mine. That's the beautiful part of this. Okay? So don't overthink it.
Okay.
You can change it as you grow.
Okay.
It changed for me. All right? So you got so that's the wheel of life. Now, I blew through that fairly quickly for you yesterday. I wish I had recorded yesterday's, but I'm going to continue
We'll
to
do a
record.
sidebar.
Yeah, we'll do a sidebar. We'll talk more about it. Absolutely. All right. But so the wheel of life. We went over this because I went to the Master Closer Seminar in Arizona. It's what I was telling Andre. I think Joseph and I, we talked about it a little bit. And at that seminar, it was nothing like I expected and everything that I needed. Right? And it took me by surprise. Everything I heard was nothing new. This I had done 1,000 times. We didn't do this at the seminar. Right? But this is the foundation, because what we do here is sales. But you can't do two different things. You can't be, and this is what we were talking about a little while ago, you can't be someone at work and someone outside of work. We all play roles, right? We put on a persona, we put on a mask. But what I'm asking you to do is to think about your life right now, right? I'm asking everybody to make it, and you don't have to, right? That's the great thing about this. You guys are here today. This room was packed yesterday, but 3 of you showed up today. Now, there were people who said, I'm with a customer, and they want to watch the video later. They want me to do another session later, and I will do that. But I want to ask you to make a commitment to yourself. This isn't about me. This isn't about me being a leader. This isn't about me creating videos. I'm doing it as this is contribution for me. This is service for me. This is my way to maybe help somebody. And if you take it and you make your life what you want it to be, then I'll feel great to get to be a part of that. But I don't have to know anything about it. This is your life. But what I'm asking you to do is to make a commitment. I want you to live the life that you want to live. And we talked a little bit about this last time. 365 times over the next year, I'm asking you to commit. So every day I want you to get up and I want you to decide to show up at your best. So the homework that you had on this, just so that everybody knows, if you remember, I want you to write down. In each of these dimensions, you rated yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, you couldn't pick 7. I want you to ask yourself, if my body was at a 10, what would that look like? If my emotions, my meaning in life was at a 10, what would that look like? How would that change my life? How would that impact me? My relationships, my time. Go through each dimension and write down 10, 15 minutes. Just take some time. Doesn't have to be perfect. Don't have to write a book. But write down, if I showed up at a 10 all the time, what would that look like? And how would that impact my life? Write that down and then pick one thing to get rid of. One thing, one stupid habit you have that is ruining your life, that is wasting your time and energy. Get rid of it. Something you will do, that you could do, that you should do. Make it a must, because you should all over yourself. I learned that from Tony Robbins. Right? You'll should all over yourself, so make it a must. Get rid of something that you would do, could do, and must do. Also, what's one thing that you could add? What's one positive point that you could add into your life that would make it better? And then, one dimension to focus on. I'm going to ask you to commit 365 days. Every day, decide that you're going to do this. Every day, decide that you're going to step up. Because what we're really talking about is raising our standards here, right? This is. I'm going to call this, when you see it in the app, in the WhatsApp, it's going to be called the standard meeting. Because this is a standard meeting. My way, Daco's way. This is a standard meeting. Up yours. Up your standard. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about going to the next level. I don't know what that is for you. That's up to you. But you're never going to get to where you want to be. It's like picking a star to guide you. That's what I'm asking you to do, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, if you commit 365 times, that's every day. Let's say you didn't. Let's say, like most people, maybe once a week you recommit yourself. 52 times a year is what that would be. It would take you 7 years to catch up to me. In 1 year, if I'm recommitting myself every day, if you're recommitting yourself every day for 365 days, you are 7 years ahead of somebody doing it once a week. What if they only did it once a month? It would take somebody 30 years to catch up. So in 1 year, you could be 30 years behind where you could have been just by not recommitting every day. So choose. It's a choice. And life's going to happen. Life's going to get difficult. Don't get me wrong, but you got to choose to show up. You got to choose to make an improvement. And if you're operating at 50% right now, 50%, okay. You don't have to be at 100%, but aim for 51%, right? Or 50 and a half. Because if you keep improving, small incremental improvements, over time that's going to compound. And before you know it, if you've done this 365 times, if you do this every day, before you know it, that 50% becomes as close to 100% as you can get. And you're never going to get to 100%. You're always going to climb incrementally. There's always going to be something to strive for. But I'm asking you to make that commitment. Not to me, but to yourself. Now, one of the things we talked about, and you guys have the map on there, right? You don't have this yet. So, this is a success map that Dean Graziosi shared this weekend. The first point is, where are you?
Dean Graziosi?
Dean Graziosi, yes. Graziosi. So he shared this weekend. The first point on the success map is, where are you? You have to know where you are. If you're in the woods and you have a map of the area and you don't know where you are, that map's going to serve no good. You're not going to know where you're going, which is point 2, where you want to go. That's the second point on your success map. And remember, point 3 is why. Why do you want to get from where you are to where you're going? You have to attach emotion, right? Until you get honest with yourself, change won't happen. And so you have to attach an understanding of, why do I want to do what I'm doing? And then the fourth step on your success map is how. And yesterday, we talked about the fact that how is spelled wrong, because we're all trying to figure out the steps to get from 1 to 2, to get from where we are to where we want to be. But if you rearrange the letters in how, you get who, because somebody has done what you're trying to do already. And if you model successful behaviors, you will be successful faster. We're talking about speed, right? We're talking about getting to where we want to be with speed, efficiently. So there are gaps in who you are right now, right? There are gaps that we need to fill. There's a gap between where you are and where you want to be, right? There's a gap between where you are and where you want to be in each dimension of your life. That's what I said, pick one. Now, I pick my body, because if your body goes to shit, where are you going to live? So in order for me to show up at my best, I want to look my best. I want to feel my best. I want to move my best. So I know that by taking care of my body, it's also going to take care of my mind, which is going to take care of my emotions, which is going to help with my relationships, which will impact how I spend my time and my ability to focus, which will impact positively my career, right? You see, and that's why we start there. That's why I start there. You can pick whichever one most needed. Maybe you're where you want to be physically. Maybe you need another dimension to focus on. But you get to pick it, because guess what? Who created this?
You did.
You did, right? You created your wheel. Not only did you write your wheel down, but you've lived your life up to this point. Right? Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it that you are where you are? Now, fault is an interesting thing, and it's the wrong word to use, I believe. Because fault looks around outside of you and says, blame them. That person did this to me years ago, and I carry that pain. Whereas responsibility is the right word. Whose responsibility is this? Amen? Whose responsibility is it? It's yours. You did this, right? The idea of karma in the Buddhist tradition is an idea of doing. You've done what you've done to get where you are. Now, that's a good thing, because that means that if you created this, then you can change it. You can create what you want to create. So you've got to accept that responsibility, and you've got to make the commitment. So there's a pattern in our lives. We have thoughts based on beliefs, right? Thoughts and beliefs. You can stay in a cycle of negative thinking, of positive thinking, whatever you want to do until you take an action. But your thoughts and beliefs are going to inspire your actions. And your actions are going to leave a wake behind you like a boat. And that boat, leaving that wake, is what we call our lives. If you're the boat, if you're the vessel. Now, do you look back when you're on a boat and you look at the wake and you think, oh, the wake is driving the boat?
No.
But you do that in your life. Yeah. We look back at our lives and we say, that's why I'm here. No. You're in control of where you are right now. You get to choose every day what you show up as. That's what I'm asking you to do. To change the way you look at it. Don't look back and say, I'm where I am because of the wake behind me. Take the action today for yourself. I'm asking you for yourself to do this. So I'm asking you to create a new you. Today, I'm asking you to take responsibility for where you are and create a new you. Because this impacts you here, but it also impacts you at home. There may be a relationship that you're struggling with at home, and when you do, are you at your best at work? I don't care how much you think you can hide it. It's in you. It's a part of you. So I'm asking you to step up, create a new you. Take that responsibility. So let's say there are habits that I have. I'll speak for myself. There are habits that I have that I know that I should get rid of. That's why I said pick one. Right? They're the weak part of me. Right? I'm fragmented into different personalities. You know, they used to say in ancient Greece that you weren't a genius, you had a genius. That you had a muse, right, in the arts. Right? And that you were possessed in the ancient world by spirits. Our passions, our feelings. We've lost this idea, but it's worth reinstalling into your mind to realize a thought isn't something you have, it has you. There's a saying in Alcoholics Anonymous that says, first I take the drink and then the drink takes me. Well, when you get angry, do you have control over yourself?
No.
The anger's in control. When you are sad, do you have control over it? The feeling's in control. Those are the passions. When you have a thought, we think, I have a thought, I have an idea. The idea has you. What you do with it is up to you. I'm asking you to flip what you normally see, the way you normally see things on its head for a moment. And realize that I am in control of my own actions. If somebody cuts me off, emotions and meaning here. If somebody cuts me off in traffic and I get pissed off, was it that person that pissed me off? No, so let me ask you a question. I'm walking across the room and I've got a cup of hot tea. I'm walking across the showroom downstairs and somebody comes walking past me, bumps into my arm, and I spill tea all over my shirt. And I've got a big stain. Why did I spill tea on my shirt?
You were walking with tea in your hand.
Because I was walking with tea in my hand. There was an accident.
Mm-hmm. You got too close to your shirt.
I got too close to my shirt
As you were walking with,
because tea was in my cup.
Oh.
Because tea was in my cup. If it was water, it would have been water.
Mm-hmm.
If it was coffee, it would have been coffee. You're going to go through life. You're going to go through work. You're going to go outside, inside. It doesn't matter where you are. You're going to go through life, and from time to time, you're going to bump into people. You're going to bump into experiences. Whatever's in your cup is what's going to come out. So if you have patience in your cup, patience will come out. If you have kindness in your cup, kindness will come out. If you have anger in your cup, anger will come out. If you have guilt, shame, whatever's in you is going to come out. So I'm asking you to take responsibility for what you're creating in yourself, because that's what you're carrying into every interaction. All right, now this is a long way to get to the goal setting part of today, and I'm going to wrap it up here because we've got a few more minutes. What I'm asking you to do is allow the deadwood, the things that make you weak, the things that make you less than your best, the things that keep you away from being number 10, kill them. Kill those parts of you. They are living parts of you. Get rid of them. Metaphorically, obviously, get rid of them. Make a daily choice to say, I'm going to be something else today. I'm going to be me at my best. And catch yourself, right? You're not going to be perfect at this. You're improving. So you're going to catch yourself. You're going to say, oh, I got real frustrated right there. But it's okay. Catch yourself. Experience it. And go, okay, what was it? Because I'm going to tell you, when somebody upsets you, quote unquote, when somebody upsets you around you, it's really something inside of you that's disturbed. It's a mirror reflecting back to you. If somebody is an asshole and you get upset about it, it's not that they're an asshole, it's that they remind you that you're an asshole sometimes. They're being a mirror to you. That's what's really disturbing you. So can you show up with peace? Can you show up with patience? Now, don't get me wrong. There are times where somebody's going to cross the line and you got to stand up for yourself. I also believe in that. I believe in being a warrior. I do. Right? What do they say? It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war, right? So the idea that the meek shall inherit the earth in the Bible, I learned this from Jordan Peterson. What it really means, meek, the interpretation in the Greek is actually one who knows how to use his sword but keeps it sheathed. Mm-hmm. If you're not dangerous and in control, you're not strong, you're harmless, you're a rabbit in the forest. But if you are a controlled monster, that is somebody worth reckoning. All right, so what I'm asking you to do, let's get back to it. I'm asking you to kill off the weak parts of you. I'm asking you to kill off the part every day. Pick to be strong. Pick to be at your best. When you're at your best, you're going to show up with confidence. You're going to show up, you're going to stand differently, you're going to talk differently. You're going to be more excited about what you're doing with your customer, with your loved ones, anybody, or with your friends, family, anybody. You're going to show up different if you kill off the parts of you, because you don't like those parts of you. They may be comfortable, because we get hardwired. And I'm asking you to rewire the habitual you, to change the way that you think about every interaction that you have. So in order to do that, we have to get from where we are to where we want to be, right? Where we are to where we want to be. And here's how we're going to do that. And I want you to remember, along the way, that weak you will be in the mirror. You don't get to kill it permanently. It stands in the mirror and it beckons you back every time. It says, forget about that. That's too hard. Psh, you can't do that. Who are you kidding? Don't listen to that voice. It will stand in the mirror and ask you to come back. Don't go back. So let's get to the goal setting portion for today. Because yesterday, we did this. We said, where are we? That's point 1. Today, we're going to go to point 2. So, on your paper, and you can do it long ways, short ways, whatever you want, but on one side of your paper, you're going to write personal, and on the other side, I want you to write professional. Personal and professional. And then at the top of the page here, you're going to write short, then you're going to write medium, you're going to write long, and you're going to write life. Personal, professional, short, medium, long, life. Now generally, if I were to sit here and ask you, hey Joseph, what do you want out of life? Hey Yolanda, what do you want out of life? Andre, what do you want out of life? If I were to sit here and ask you individually what it is that you actually want out of life, the chances of you being able to come up with that are pretty slim. Now, if I ask you what you don't want, people tend to be much more able to articulate that. But I'm going to ask you to do something a little different in this goal setting, right? And you're not going to do this here today. You've got the outline for it. Take 10 to 15 minutes, just like yesterday. Take 10 to 15 minutes at some point in the day. Do it today so that tomorrow you come in ready, right? You come in recommitted. I'm going to ask you to start off with your life goals. Okay. And this is how you're going to set them, if you will. Again, this is your goal, so you don't have to do everything I say, but take the idea and make it yours. EULOGY. What does that spell?
Eulogy.
Eulogy. You're going to write a eulogy. I want you to think you live to be 100 years old. At 100 years old, you pass away. Go out to that time. You pass away, and you get to give your own eulogy after your death. I want you to think, what is it that you want to be said about you? What do you want to have had your life look like in order for people to say what they're going to say about you? And you are giving the eulogy because you are the one who's going to know yourself most intimately. I want people to tell the world how kind I was. Man, he was a force to be reckoned with. Don't cross him, but man, he would give the shirt off his back to help somebody. He made more money than God. At some point in his Middle Ages, he started just becoming who he really was, and people just started paying him for his value. But you'd never know it, because he was so down to earth, and if somebody needed something, he'd help them out. His wife meant the world to him and his children. He would do anything for them. Anything they wanted, he made it happen. You can call him spoiled if you wanted, but that was his pride. He got to spoil his family. Anything that anybody asked for, anything that he thought they wanted, he'd try to make happen. And he was gentle. As tough as he could be, that exterior could get you, but he was gentle. He'd go up to anybody and make a friend. Never met a stranger. Right, I could go on. Write your eulogy. Professionally, personally. Intertwine it. What do you say about you when you die? Look back and be grateful. With gratitude, with peace, with love. Do that. Then you're going to go long term. Long term is going to be 3 to 5 years. Okay? 3 to 5 years from now, I want you to go into the future. Don't do this now hoping that you get there. I want you to go into the future, and I want you to look back, and I want you to write what you're grateful for having accomplished. What you've done personally and professionally. Come up with the first thing, the most important thing that you've accomplished on both aspects, personally and then professionally. And come up with 3 to 5 things. But start with the one thing that's most important to you. Look back with gratitude for having accomplished that. Then you're going to go to the medium. And I want you to do the same thing. Go about a year out. 1 year from now, you're going to look back. What did you accomplish in the last year in your personal life and then in your professional life? What did you accomplish in the last year? 12 months from now, you're going to look backward. You're going to say, I'm grateful that I've done that. 3 to 5. Short term. 90 days. 90 days, I want you to pick one thing that you hope to accomplish, just one. One goal that you hope to accomplish in the next 90 days. One personal, one professional.
So life is gonna be the eulogy part.
Life is the eulogy.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Long
like
term,
3 to 5.
3 to 5 years.
1.
Medium is 1 year.
90
Short
days.
term is 90 days. 90 days, the reason I'm asking you to pick one is because then I'm going to ask you to take a look at your medium and long term goals. And I want you to come up with 3 to 5 ways that you could accomplish those goals in 90 days. Life is your eulogy. What is the overarching the arc that you're hoping to follow over the course of your life? What is said about you when you're gone? 3 to 5 years. 1 year, 90 days. 90 days, you pick one, and then you see, what could I do? If it was possible for me to obtain my 3 to 5 year goals, my 1 year goals within the next 90 days, what would that look like? That's the question.
Mm-hmm.
If it were possible, what would it look like? Remember, you're making a 365-day commitment. Now, why are we doing sales training that has nothing to do with sitting down and running word tracks? There will come a time for that.
Because you have to be self-motivated in order to get to where you're trying to be.
You have to be self-motivated. You have to be moving yourself in the direction of where you want to be. Listen, I care more about who you are as an individual than what you do on that sales floor, because I know that if I care for you as an individual and I help you perform at your best in all aspects of your life, that what you do down in that sales floor is going to be incredible. I care.
That pie right there, that's that's like the foundation. If you have a strong foundation, then the house will stand.
You got it.
But if all that right there is falling apart,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter about the word track.
So
Like-
now you understand why we started there.
Yeah, like you guys start at the foundation to build that house.
Amen.
I got you.
Amen.
I got you.
All right.
What was the question again? If it were possible to obtain,
If it were possible to obtain my long-term and medium-term goals in the next 90 days, what would that look like?
what would it look like?
What would that look like? And if you want to ask a follow-up question, a powerful follow-up question, remember attaching the why, which we're going to get to that's next, right? There's a reason that we did everything the way we did it. If you want to ask a powerful question, what would that mean to me?
That is to accomplish all those goals in 90 days.
What would that mean to me? How would that impact my life? How would that change? What feelings would that bring up? What gratitude? What confidence? What joy? What peace? What sense of contribution? Celebration? Feel it. And I'll give you guys a teaser since you're here, and I guess I'll let the people who are watching this as well. Because tomorrow what we're going to talk about is step 3, right? We went through 1 and 2. We're going to get to step 3. We're going to get real specific on it. And we're going to understand how our feelings emanate out like an electric signal, like an impulse, an electrical impulse, and how our thoughts radiate back like a magnetic force. We're going to talk about the law of attraction. Okay? So, you got your questions? Any other questions before we wrap it? Sorry I ran over a little bit, but you get me going on this, I can go for hours.
Excellent.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you for showing up.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you.